Hey guys, thanks for tuning back into Panic Button, where we talk all things mental health, how we figure it out, how we get through, how we find out how to get through, and really just shooting the shit, being honest, being realistic about mental health, and just talking about it. Lately, it just feels heavy. And just jumping right into it, it feels heavy in a way that feels like it's not going to get better. And I know that that's not true. I know that it's going to get better. And I know that I'm going to have hard days. But the hard days just seem to be winning lately. And I think we don't talk about how exhausting that feels and how real that feels. I think that we try to stay as positive as we can, and sometimes we just can't. And I'm here to talk about how that's okay because I know that it's okay what I'm going through. I know that I'm having an awful week. And I know that I'm mentally exhausted and I'm trying to grab for air. I'm trying to just grab anything to help me get by. And I think that we just don't talk about how real that struggle is. So I'm just here to be transparent about it. I think we've all gone through it at some point in our life. And sometimes we don't like to talk about the times that we felt so down and so ready to give up. Um, and by no means am I saying I'm giving up. I'm here to be an advocate for you guys. I'm here to continuously tell you guys we're going to find a way to get through this. We're going to get through this. But I also want to talk about the reality of how hard it is to sometimes realize that mindset and to continue to have that mindset. It's not the easiest thing to wake up every day with a smile on your face. Sometimes that's hard for people. And whatever the case may be, it's hard. And just lately just feeling kind of down about myself. And I think sometimes when we suffer from anxiety, we are very hard on ourselves and we think that we start to be a burden. We start to think that nobody wants to hear about this, nobody wants to talk about it, and no one's going to understand. And I've definitely felt that way. I've been in that boat, but I'm here to tell you guys that that's not true. I'll be your friend. I will listen. I will understand. And there's somebody out there that will understand and that'll listen to you. And I wanted to come on this podcast episode today, not really with a specific topic to talk about or, anything in mind necessarily, but just telling you guys that there's a reality here. There's a reality that sometimes we don't talk about. And the reality of it is that sometimes those bad days get the best of us. But we continue to push forward. We continue to put on a happy face, but it's exhausting. And I don't think, again, we talk enough about how exhausting it can be. Um, and it's hard. I feel like I'm grasping for all of these things to make me feel better. Even last night, it was like 9 o'clock at night or something. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to take a bath. And even a bath that usually helps just didn't. It didn't get through to where I wanted it to get through to. And then that makes us upset because we do something that we think is going to make us feel better. And then when it doesn't, we kind of get that anxious brain that comes in again that tells us, like, okay, well, if that didn't help, you're fucked. And sitting here today, kind of had a bad week, like I said, a couple of bad days. And by no means do bad days correlate to a bad life. I have an incredible life. I have an incredible family. I have an incredible support system that I've told you guys about. I'm so loved and I'm so blessed to have the community that I have to talk about mental health with you guys, with my family, with my partner, with everyone. And I want everyone to feel that way too, because these bad days can feel scary. These bad weeks can feel scary. I've been really having issues with my anxiety since November. And looking at the calendar today, I was like, that's only been 2 months, but it's felt like I've been battling for years. And I've battled anxiety and panic disorder since 2016. But obviously, there's some times when it's totally under control and it's going underneath the radar and this and that. But it feels like it's been an everyday struggle for a couple of months now. And when I look back, it's been 2 months, only 2 months when I've dealt with loss, I've dealt with trauma. Um, you know, I think we need to just give ourselves grace and allow ourselves time to heal from the things that we don't talk about. And the bad days will come and go, and we continue to get through them like we always do. And that may look different for others, how it looks for me. I have work that preoccupies me a lot. I have a son who definitely preoccupies me a lot and keeps me on my toes, and is incredible for my mental health. But, it's just continuing to tell yourself that these days will come, but these days will go. And I guess that's the point of this podcast. I guess we just kind of figured it out together that we're going to have hard days where maybe distractions don't work, like we've talked about. And maybe quotes and affirmations and yoga and meditation, maybe they're not working right now. That doesn't mean that they're never going to work. It just means that we need to be kind to ourselves. We need to give ourselves time. I think I like to say that in the anxiety world, it sometimes feels like when you are in that anxious mindset or panic mode, that days and months feel like years, and your exaggeration of time is just ridiculous. Because again, thinking back, it's only been 2 months since I've started to have, a higher anxiety level. And not all of those days from now between 2 months were terrible. I had a lot of good days. I'm not discounting that. There are amazing days ahead of us and behind us. But we need to continue to focus on the future of what's ahead of us, because we really do hold that power. We hold the power to decide exactly what our future entails, what it looks like, what it's going to be like, what it holds. And I know realistically, my future will hold a lot more bad days, but I know it'll hold double the amount of good days. And that's what gets me through, is that these bad days are making me appreciate the good days to come that I've had, you know? So you need to find something to hold on to. You need to find hope, in a world that is a little hopeless sometimes. And again, I'm just trying to be honest. I'm not trying to make anybody feel sad or feel down, but sometimes we live in a hopeless world where we don't feel like we're going to figure this out, but we are. And I'm always going to be here to tell you guys that we are. But I would be doing myself a disservice if I didn't tell you guys the reality of my story. And sometimes the reality of that is that I also have these crummy days, and I also get stuck in the mindset of maybe this won't be okay. Um, but again, if we can find it anywhere in the world, find it in your heart, find it in your mind, find it anywhere to give yourself grace and to be nice to yourself, I think that you'll be able to realize that you're doing the best that you can, and that that's good enough. Even if society doesn't tell you that it is good enough. Society's views on you don't matter. It's what you think matters, and what you're doing matters. And that's all that we have, is our identity, what we hold on to, what's important to us, what we tell ourselves. So I'm choosing to tell myself that there are better days ahead. And again, there will be days that don't feel like there are better days ahead. And there will be days that I don't want to get out of bed, or I don't want to go outside, or I don't want to do very much, but I need to. I need to push myself to get better. I need to be that kick in the butt that I needed when I was a kid to do my homework, or something along the lines of doing something I didn't want to do. We need to be that force because nobody's going to hold our hand and do it for us. We have to make the changes. We have to want to make the changes, and we're all capable of making the changes. Don't let your anxious mind tell you different. We're capable of great things. And we're capable of getting through these hard days, even if we fully believe opposite. You're capable of it. I know you are. We all are. So I guess that's it. I guess, again, that this episode has no purpose or it has a lot of purpose. I just want to show full transparency that I'm going through it and you're going through it and we're going through it. And we're going to continue to get through it and we're going to go through it and we're going to talk about it. And we do have a couple of guests that are coming on to talk about their journey with mental health and kind of their battles and what they've seen and what they do and how they get through. Because again, if we don't get through, what are we doing? And if we don't talk about it, what are we doing? We're going to get through it. We're going to talk about it. Mental health is so crucial and it matters so much. And we're going to figure it out. We're not going to push that panic button, guys. We're going to figure it out. And I'm here for the ride with you. I hope you're here for the ride with me. I know this was a little ranty, this episode, but I think it brings a little bit of value to the idea of that we need to be nice to ourselves. And we need to understand that bad days are inevitable, but good days are just as inevitable. And good days are coming. I promise. Till next time, guys, take care of yourself.